They're classic two-strokes motorcycles. Classic two-stroke motorcycles. Well, here we are looking at our Yamaha TZR 3MA 250 water-cooled two-stroke motorcycle. As you can see, I've removed the outer fairing from this side. I've removed the front seat. I've removed the pillion seat on this. And if you look over here, these are the bits we've taken off. This is the front seat pad, which you can see has got a little bit of damage from having sharp things in people's pockets when they've been sat on the bike. It's got a small rip on the side. Put my glasses on so I can see what we're doing. But as you can see, if you look at the base of the seat, it's only held on with staples, so it's easy to remove the staples and put a new seat cover on it. So that's something we'll be doing in the future, we can show you. This is the little rear seat pad, which is very similar, but as you can see, it's got holes in it from sharp objects in people's pockets and on jeans and studs and things, so it's ripped it. So again, if you look at it, the strap, the pillion seat strap is bolted on, which we can take off it, no problem. And the actual cover is also just held on with staples. So it's just a matter of pulling the staples out, getting some new material, stretching it over and restapling it again. So that's something else we'll be doing in the future. So we'll put them to one side for a minute. This is the right seat cover we're looking at. It's not too bad a condition. If you look at it in the inside, that's the heat shield. This heat shield material, it goes over the expansion chamber exhaust, so it keeps the heat away from your legs, and it also protects the plastic side cover from getting damaged. But it's not in too bad a condition, so that'll probably go again. So there's no broken bits I can see on this side cover. The fastening pieces that go into the rubber on the frame still haven't been broken off. Where the bolts go are still connected. So that side cover looks okay. So let's check the other side cover and see how that fares up okay. So again, we'll check on the inside. This is the heat shield we're looking at. There's a little bit of tear on the heat shield, but we'll repair that. We'll get some new heat shield material and reform it, and we'll cover that on the inside. There is a little broken bit to one of the brackets here. We'll repair that with fiberglass. So we'll plastic weld that and then repair a little bit, put a reinforcement on the back with fiberglass. You can't see that too much from the outside, but we will repair it. So we have a look at the rest of it. The button's okay, that's not broken off. The rubbers are still intact. So yeah, that one, apart from that broken piece you can see there that needs repairing, is not too bad. Also, these need repainting. So the last thing we'll do on this bike is we'll remove these decals are just stuck on. This red and black will come off. But what we'll do, we have a heat gun. So we'll get a heat gun, we'll warm these up, and we'll peel these decals off, and then we'll show you about repainting it. So this is the right hand side fairing. Let's have a look at this and see what we can find with this. Well, this is the problem with this is that the hinge at the bottom that holds the two bits together has seen better days, so that needs a little bit of repair. If we check the rest of it, there's a crack here. When my thumb is, that needs repairing, so we'll repair that. There's a small crack here. You can see that needs repairing, so we'll grind that out. We'll fiberglass the back. It has been repaired in the past with some bit of plastic, but it's a rubbish repair. We'll redo that. We'll grind that out and we'll redo it. You can see it's an original fairing. This is stamped, look, Yamaha 3MA. So this is the original fairing for this bike. So this bike is a 3MA, no matter what anybody else tries to tell you. So this needs a little bit of repair work, but nothing drastic. It's more or less all there, but it needs a little bit of repair work. Again, these decals, this Yamaha sticker, the TZR straight exhaust, we'll take them off. It's a metallic silvery colour, the finish. I don't know exactly what colour it is. I need to find out, so I'm going to paint it exactly the same colour. But these decals, we'll take them off and we'll buy new decals. But when we put the new decals on, we'll put the silver metallic on first, then we'll put the stickers on, then we'll clear coat over everything, over the decals and the silver metallic, to give it a really good job. So let's have a look at this left-hand side fairing. As you can see, it's a little bit scratched. The decals want removing. There's a bit of damage where my finger is here. We'll need to build this up and drill a hole and redo that. There's a bit of damage here on this one. Needs repairing. And the bottom hinge is missing from the back. It should be something similar to this one, but it's missing. There's also a crack in it here. So there is a little bit of work to do to this one. So that's something else we need to look at. This here is the rear tail section. It's where the two exhaust pipes exit from the bike. But if we look at it, it's not in too bad a condition. It's not broken. So this one, we'll probably just clean it and repaint it. So that one's okay. This section here is the little closing piece that fits in the back seat. It actually fits into the back seat hump. But if you look at it, it's not too bad a condition. There's a little broken, it should be like that. It should have a little catch like that. On this side, it's missing. We can build that up with fiberglass and recut it. So I'll redo that. And also these holes have been re-drilled wrongly. Look, somebody's made a right mess of that. So we'll fill that in and we re-drill it so it looks like that one. So that's where we are at the moment with the fiberglass fairings and the two seats you can see. The reverse, the pillion paddlers I should say, and the front seat pad. So that's where we are with them at the moment. So let's just put them over here a little bit so we don't stand on them and break them. So that's the cover. So if we walk over here and have a look at the bike and see where we are here, see what's wrong here. Right, you can see the fairing's been removed, and at first glance you can see somebody's made a bit of a temporary repair to the petrol tank. I don't know what, I need to remove the tank. We need to swill all there's a little bit of petrol inside, so we need to take the petrol out of it. Then we'll grind this off it and have a look and see what's happening there. But if you have a look at the tank round this side, there's also what looks like petrol. You can see it on my finger, it's wet, weeping out that tank. There's a pinhole there and a pinhole there. So this tank needs repairing. But if you look over here at this bike, this is the spare bike we bought recently. So the petrol tank on this one looks in better condition. So what we'll probably do, we'll take this tank off here, put it on that bike and repaint it that colour. Then later we'll repair that petrol tank. But what we need to do, we need to take this petrol filler assembly out of this one and fit the original one of this bike to it, which will mean that we'll keep because this key for the ignition is the same key that fits the petrol tank top. So we need to exchange this one to put it into the new other tank to keep the petrol tank and the keys the same. So that's another little job we need to do. But if you come round this side again and we'll look at this and we'll just have a look and see what's happening here, what else we need to repair. If you look at this, somebody has fitted a temporary inline petrol tank fuel tap. It's a little plumbing fitting. Well, that needs to come out, it shouldn't be there. It has the original one, but this pipe should go straight to it. So what we need to do is to buy the kit to overhaul that. Oh, if I can get a new one, I'll get a new one. So that one's doing on there. Also, if you look at this, there should be a bolt in here which holds the bottom of the radiator on. That's missing. So there's no bolt holding the radiator on at that side. And if we look at what else we can find at this side, everything seems okay-ish. It all needs cleaning, and eventually we'll strip the back completely down. I'm going to polish the frame like the European 3MA TZRs. I prefer the polished frame, so I'll polish this frame later. We'll take the engine and all the bits and pieces out of it and put it back together again. I also want to remove the cylinder heads to have a look and see what's happening on the engine. But at first glance, it's more or less okay at this side. So let's have a little look at the other side and see what else we can find wrong. This bike, we bought it about, I don't know, 5 or 6 months ago, but it's the first chance I've had to have a look at it properly with the fairings off and see what's wrong with it. So let's have a look at this side and see what's wrong. Well, first off, I can see what the problem here is. This is the 2-stroke oil reservoir. It's broken here. That there should be fastened, but you can see it's cracked off, it's broken. It's all crazed here. But these are available new in Malaysia, so I'm going to get a new tank to replace that. I don't like the look of that. I'm going to get a brand new tank. This wire is just a little strap somebody's put on to hold it on. So that is missing from this side. If you look up here, all the gauges, all the hand controls want stripping down. I'm going to restore them. I'm going to blast them in the blasting cabinet, take them apart, blast them, clean them, repaint them black as they should be, and put new parts inside them. So these are something else we need to look at in the future. The front brake seems to work okay, but we will be overhauling this front master cylinder here, which when you pull the brake on, this front master cylinder piston pushes oil down these 2 oil lines, which actually goes to the 2 caliper units at the front. So there's 2 calipers on here, one this side and one the other side. Both these calipers will overhaul and put new seals in them. So it's another little job to do in the future. The fork legs want polishing, and we'll either leave them polished aluminium, but these look like they've been painted, so let's just see what we're going to do there. We'll take the wheels out, we'll check the wheel bearings, which are in here, so a job to do later. As you can see here where my finger is, there's some small pitting where my finger is. You can see the little pit marks on the tubes, on the fork stanchion. So we'll have a look and see if these can be replated locally in the Philippines. I don't know, somewhere in have to check. So we'll check about getting these replated or replaced. So that's what we're going to do there. And also, the battery on these is hid sneakily away underneath it. So the battery actually fits in this battery box here. This is the battery here. But if you look at the terminals, for the battery, somebody's just twisted a little bit of wire together here, which is rubbish on a battery. You need proper connections. That's the positive one. The negative one's no better. It's just a little bit of bare wire that was just stuck underneath the nut. So that's something we're going to address a bit later today. So what we're going to do, unfortunately, the bike lift hasn't arrived yet. So when the bike lifts arrive, on one of our future videos, the bike will be on the hydraulic bike lift. It'll make things a lot easier. So what we're going to do, folks, I'm going to cut and clean these wires, and I'm going to solder this connection to this one, look. I'm going to solder that on there, and I'm going to solder this one take this temporary wire off, and I'm going to solder this wire here on there like that. This is the fuse on the ignition, on the battery side. The fuse is okay. So what we're going to do, we're going to take this bit of crap wire off here and replace it with 2 connections. And then this connection, it'll just bolt on there like that, which will be a lot better job. So what we're going to do, this will bolt on there. So we're going to solder this wire into here, cut this off and solder this wire into here. So that's what we're going to do now. So let's have a look at doing that. Guys, goodbye for now, and hopefully we'll see you in my next video where I'll show you how we'll be soldering these connections onto the battery leads to make a better job of this battery connection. Well, hopefully we'll see you all soon. Please take care and watch after yourselves, and see you next time. Bye bye, guys.